eastern Tennessee to ride one of the most dangerous stretches of road in North America, the Tail of the Dragon. This is the wildest stretch of road that I've ever ridden, and for the motorcyclists that come here, there's absolutely no room for error. Today I've prepared a step-by-step guide on how to ride and enjoy this road without hurting yourself. This is a dangerous place, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you're irresponsible here, you can meet a very, very bitter end. When I first came here, I asked a more experienced rider how he rode here knowing there were big cliffs that he could ride off and seriously injure himself. His response, simply put, was to pretend that they aren't there. That's how serious of a place this is. This is a place where you really need to plan ahead to make the most out of it. The entire area has really spotty cell phone coverage, and the closest decent-sized city to get supplies is about an hour away. It's a difficult place to get supplies and gear, and if you can find it, it will be massively overpriced. You also need to figure out where you plan on staying when you get here. I cannot recommend camping enough, and there are a ton of campgrounds in the area. We prefer to stay at these campsites along the shore of Lake Santitla because they're free, but it is a first-come, first-serve type situation. If you're having a hard time talking your partner into coming, remember that there's a ton of stuff to do in the area other than go to the Tail of the Dragon. This is one of the more beautiful areas on the East Coast, and I would still come here even if the Dragon wasn't here. The most important thing that you can do before you come here is your motorcycle maintenance, specifically your chains and sprockets. These are not expensive items, and it's just good food for thought to get these replaced before you even get here. Obviously, your motor needs to be in good running order, but more important than that, you need to have good brake fluid and good brake pads. They are going to get super hot here. They're going to take an absolute pounding, so make sure you got the good stuff. Now, you also need to figure out whenever you're going to come to the Dragon. If you're newer, I would completely disregard the weekends. I would probably disregard Friday as well, but going before 11 seems to be pretty okay. I would stick to the weekdays. Obviously, Monday and Tuesday are going to be substantially less busy than the rest of the week. You also need to figure out what time you're going to come here. I'd recommend coming before 11 a.m. and after 5 p.m. Just keep in mind that it's going to be a lot colder during those rides, and you really need to work a lot harder to get those tires up to temp before you start pushing it. At the start of the Dragon is a little place called Deal's Gap. It's where everyone unloads and stages at. There's a lot of socializing to do here, and it's a nice place to stand around and tell lies with your buddies. Now, as we're working our way up to the start of the Tail, you really need to focus on your preparation of the tires. It's about 70 degrees out right now, which tells me from my experience that those tires are going to be a little bit cold. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it nice and easy for probably the first half a mile or so, and we're just going to get these tires nice and up to temperature before we start to push a little bit faster. Okay, so now we are starting the Tail of the Dragon because we have entered Tennessee and we're no longer in North Carolina. And one thing to note here is that it's always going to be a little bit colder on the Dragon than what the area's ambient temperature is, because this place is completely covered in foliage. I have come out here today with a rental bike. This is a bone stock DRZ 400 SM. I rented this for about 140 bucks a day with the insurance. And I just wanted to show you guys that you don't need a lot of bike to have fun at the Dragon. In fact, you're probably going to have a better time riding on something a little bit smaller. Okay, now we are about half a mile in, maybe closer to a mile. I'm pretty confident that these tires are up to snuff now. They should be good and toasty to go ahead and start ripping this thing a little bit. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is that you need to have a lot of patience with this road. You can't expect to come here and immediately be fast on it. I've come here a bunch and I'm not fast at all. So you really need to work your way up to the speed on this road. And about every couple of corners or so, I'm checking my mirrors, make sure that there's nobody behind me. You do not want to be holding people up in this place. I know it sucks to use the pull-off and it makes you feel like you're slow, but you are slow. There are going to be people here that are substantially faster than you. And this is another valuable lesson right here. You're going to run up on vehicles that are substantially slower than you. And you just need to sit and wait. There's nothing else that you need to do other than just sit behind this car until it jumps out of your way. If the bike is warning you, you need to heed that warning. You absolutely need to start slowing down. Give it a couple of corners, slow down, relax, maybe even stop, have a drink, because you're probably either A, riding way over your limit, or 2, you're overheating your tires. Towards the end of the Dragon, it's a real problem if you start overheating your tires. You'll start sliding around a whole bunch. A good analogy that I use whenever I come here is that it's kind of like sipping hot tea or hot coffee. You wouldn't start to chug it straight away. You just kind of sip on it. And that's how I try and handle the throttle here, is that you're just doing little small sips of something hot. You don't want to overcook these corners. You want to take it nice and slow, nice and easy until you've built up your speed to something healthy. Your flow is extremely important here. And what I mean by that is stacking these corners up in a way to where you're taking the corners efficiently and you're having your body in a good position before you even reach the next corner. You don't want to be going corner to corner if you can help it. You want to be able to predict what's coming next and string all those corners together. That's what's going to help you the most around this place. It's not going to be absolutely last second bonsai, dive bombing on the brakes into the corner. It's going to be how you set your body up and your flow through all of these really complicated corners. And if you haven't done it already, make sure that you join the Tail of the Dragon Facebook group if you have a Facebook account. That place is very informative and it is also very funny. It's one of the funniest groups that I've ever been in. And there's also the Tail of the Dragon group, which is great too. What's really important too is picking whenever you're gonna rejoin. So I saw some slower, like Econo box type cars roll through here whenever I was at the scenic lookout. So I just kind of chilled out, waited about 5 or 10 minutes, and then decided to start coming back. Now, if you're watching this footage at home, this road looks a lot wider than it actually is. I guarantee you that whenever you go here for the first time, you're going to be blown away by how tight and how narrow this road is. It is significantly tighter than what it looks like in this footage. Now this is where you're gonna get a little bit frustrated because these guys are not getting out of our way, and I don't think that they will. I don't think that they've spotted us, and if they have, they just don't seem to care, which is frustrating. But it's gonna happen. It's a public roadway. They don't really have an obligation to get out of your way, no matter how nice that would actually be. And I know that it's easy to get frustrated and want to just dive around these cars when you can see all the traffic coming, but I promise you it's not worth it. The second you do that, there's just going to be a car coming the other way that you didn't see, and you're going to be facing a head-on collision. So, you know, it's better just to wait, You can always come back around and probably get less traffic the next time. So just take your time. Now keep in mind, whenever you're coming through here, that this is in the area of a national forest. So there's going to be animals around. You're going to see squirrels, you're going to see rabbits, you're going to see coyotes and bears, and sometimes they're going to end up in the roadway. I almost ran over a bobcat in one of the last videos I posted last year. So just take your time, take it easy, give yourself a little bit of margin unless you know, an animal comes through, and then you know, you don't want to have yourself already positioned poorly because you're right on the limit. And there's nothing worse than hitting an animal on your motorcycle. It feels terrible. Oh, okay, yeah, they're gonna jump out of the way. Wait for everyone to get off. Give them a little honk just to say thank you. Okay. Rear brake, front brake, down 2 gears. Bang, we're at the apex. Start to pick up the throttle, not too much, and then just give it the power out of it. Slow in, fast out. Slow in, fast out. One thing that I like to do is put on some music with a nice flow to it, nothing too aggressive. Put on some Juice WRLD or something like that that's not real aggressive. Don't want to be listening to like Pantera or something out here. I think that might get you a little too amped up, especially if you're a beginner. And this is what I like. We're in a situation where we're all alone. Nobody's chasing us. We're not running into traffic. We're really out here all by ourselves and we can run our own ride. And there are an absolute ton of videos where dudes crash right in front of the photographer because they're trying to show off. So just stay within your limits there, because that would be incredibly embarrassing, is doing like a nice fat low side right in front of the camera. And they love those pictures too. Those are going to get posted on the Facebook group for sure. Go down one gear here. A little bit of trail braking. Now if you're newer around here, I wouldn't focus on any trail braking at all. I would just get it stopped in a straight line and go from there. Then once you get into more advanced riding, once you want to start going quicker, you can get into the trail braking, but a lot of times on a road like this, it's just not worth it if you're just a casual rider. Now what they call it down here is, if you go over the center line, it's called cutting the mustard. If you go over the white line, which is something that, you know, potentially could be even worse, that's cutting the mayo. You cut the mayo, you're going to end off the side of a cliff. You cut the mustard, you're going head on into another vehicle. Drive it out to the mustard, get it going, start to get this guy wound up. This is a deceptively tight corner, especially with big consequences off to the right. That's a big drop off. Nice and easy. Saved my braking a little bit late there, and I got a bit of a twitch whenever I went down a cog. So we'll start to back off a little bit. Right through. Oh wait, I got a car. And that's a humbling moment. It's the first time we've had that happen today. But this dude's cooking. He's absolutely flying. We're not going to see him again. I'm surprised we see him at the end of this straight. And don't get sucked in. Don't try and match that pace. That guy knows what he's doing. He's properly fast around here. You see him come zooming past you, just let him by. Yeah, this place kind of reminds me of, you know, endurance racing with the cars and stuff, where you've got multi-class racing. You've got, you know, you got your slower traffic, and you gotta, you know, kind of take your time behind those. Because in multi-class racing, there's a bunch of different kinds of vehicles. You know, you got LMP1s, which are the fastest. You got your GT3 cars. You got your LMP2 at Le Mans. And they're all different speeds. They all have different top speeds. They're all different speeds through the corners and everything. And that's a lot of what you're going to get here, too. All right, he's going to hop out of our way, so we'll give him a little honk just to say thank you. Okay, I thought that was a cop for a second. Also, you are going to get cops through here. It's just going to happen. It's just going to be a thing that happens. And I always use extra caution when I get to this corner, because that is a big drop off over there. I've never looked down the other side of it, and I never want to. I just want to use a lot of caution through there, because I do not want to go through there.
Congratulations, you made it through your first ride of the Tail of the Dragon. Now you get to the really fun part, which is going online and finding your photos. I have always used 129 Slayer and Killboy are the two main ones. They're usually out here pretty much every single day throughout the season. Just make sure that you take note of what time you came through here so that you'll be able to find your pictures easier, because they get uploaded in order on the website.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today. It means a lot. If you learned something new about the Tail of the Dragon and how to ride it, you know, drop me a like, maybe throw a subscription my way. That would help me out a ton. If you are a experienced rider and you think that I missed something, drop a comment down below and I'll pin that sucker. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. You know, I put a lot of time and work into making these videos, a lot of time away from my job. So I appreciate y'all watching so much. Hopefully you learned something new today that you didn't already know about the Tail of the Dragon. But yeah, thank y'all for watching me today. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next video.